So we'll resume our lecture from biotechnology. Okay, so please subscribe Vaishya's channel. Okay, like all the videos, watch all the videos. Okay, and give feedback, comments also, and share these videos as much as possible. Fine, we'll start with tissue culture, right? So in tissue culture, what happens is, there's a we see a plant. From the plant we take some tissue, okay, which needs to be propagated. Okay, we need this tissue. So it is transferred into some culture medium, so that it gets multiplied. Okay, here undifferentiated callus is formed. Means here tissue is taken, okay, in this culture medium, and then it is multiplied. Okay, and then later, after that, it starts differentiating. Differentiating into roots. It will form root, and then later it will form shoots. Okay, and then what happens after this? This has been done in the laboratory till now. Okay, in the culture medium it was done. Later it is transferred to greenhouse gases. Okay, greenhouse. Yeah, it is transferred to greenhouse. When the plant is transferred into the greenhouse, okay, the plant is started to develop. Here plant will start to develop, and it will provide an environment, in controlled environment. Okay, controlled environmental condition for proper development. Okay, here it will be kept in a control conditions, right? And then later acclimatization means, the plant will be transferred to a nursery. Okay, where it can grow under the natural environmental conditions. Okay, so nothing, it is very easy. First, one tissue has been taken. It has been introduced into some culture medium, so that it can differentiate. Later it will start differentiating into roots and shoots. Then it will be transferred to a greenhouse, and then after greenhouse it is transferred to a nursery. Okay, nursery, and that's how it will become a plant. Okay, so we will get desirable plant. We will get, yeah, desirable plants, right? So this has been explained here. So initiation stage. Okay, in this step desired tissue is collected, and then it is added and sterilized. Okay, so why it is sterilized? To hinder the any contamination, so that there is no contamination, it is sterilized, right? Then multiplication. In the second phase of the plant tissue culture, sterilized explant, okay, is included within a culture medium, tissue culture medium, which I have told, which is constituted of growth regulators. Okay, so that growth will take place, such as the culture medium, and suitable nutritions are provided. Then multiplication of cell occurs within this nutrient rich medium. So this undifferentiated portion of cell is called callus. We have seen, okay, in the petri dish we saw undifferentiated callus was there. Then after that it will start differentiating, and it will form root first and then shoot first, right? The root formation has started, and then different plant growth hormones are induced. Okay, and then formation of shoot starts. Okay, the plant growth hormones are included, which help in the development of the shoot. Okay, the shoot formation will be observed for a week, and then after this, after they have started differentiating, acclimatization is the next process. The plant is transferred into a greenhouse. When the plant is started to develop, it will provide controlled environmental conditions for proper development, and after that the plant is sent to a nursery, where it can grow under the natural environmental conditions, right? And this was about plant tissue culture. And then next we have animal tissue culture. In animal tissue culture also same thing happen. From one animal we take some cells, okay, some tissues which we desire. Okay, and then we transfer it to a petri dish again, culture medium, so that it can grow and differentiate. Later it start differentiating, and then we will it will be subjected to the normal conditions later, so that it will develop, right? So next is gene therapy. So what is gene therapy? It is a field in medical, it is a one of the medical fields. It focuses on genetic modification of cells to produce a therapeutic. Therapeutic means to to cure some disease. that is called therapeutic. We have came across, therapy and all. So what is therapy? To cure. Okay, so some curative effect, for that it is used. So therapeutic, to achieve the, to produce a therapeutic effect or the treatment of a disease by repairing or reconstructing defective genetic material. Okay, so mainly these two are involved. Germline therapy means, germline means reproductive, those things, the reproductive cells like egg and sperm. And somatic genes means normal body cells. Okay, so here in this picture it has been shown. So biology mainly it's all about pictures only. Unless we won't be able to imagine all that, we won't remember it for long, right? So there are so many, I mean, I have included, that's why so many pictures here, right? So yeah, so healthy gene, it is a healthy gene. We need this gene here. We need this gene, so that has been taken off. Then we have virus vector. This I have already explained it. Again I am repeating so that you get it gets internalized, right? So this, there is a virus vector, and then into the virus vector healthy gene has been introduced here, and then it will be given to the host, so that host get the benefit of it, right? Then gene editing and CRISPR technology. See, CRISPR technology is very very important. Every time they ask, they have in previous years questions also, they have asked many questions on CRISPR technology. Okay, so we'll see what it is. Genome editing. So it is also called gene editing. It is a group of technologies that give scientists the ability to change an organism's DNA. So these technology allow genetic material to be added, removed or altered at particular locations in the genome. Okay, several approaches to genome editing have been developed. A recent one is CRISPR or Cas9. Okay, which is short for clustered, regularly interspaced, short, palindromic repeats, and CRISPR are associated protein 9. Okay, this is the full form of CRISPR Cas9. If you can remember, please do, otherwise leave it, fine. Then CRISPR or Cas9, it is a system that has generated a lot of excitement in the scientific community because it is faster, it is cheaper, and it is more accurate. Okay, and it is very efficient also, efficient than the other existing genome editing methods, right? So CRISPR or Cas9 was adopted from a naturally occurring genome editing system in the bacteria. See, one bacteria, bacteria used to use this CRISPR or Cas9 as a defense mechanism. Okay, so this has been adopted. This property of that bacteria has been exploited, right? So that we can use it for good, for the benefit of humankind. Okay, in order to achieve some advancements in the biotechnology for the greater good. Okay, here, so how it works, how DNA editing is accomplished. So DNA editing technology CRISPR-R9. Okay, it works like a biological version of word processing programs, find and replace function. Okay, remember this. So I told there is a cell has nucleus has chromosomes, right? So this chromosomes has DNA. Okay, so what happens is a cell is transfected. Okay, transfected means this yeah, here it is happening, no, editing. So it is transfected with an enzyme complex containing enzyme complex. Remember this enzyme complex. This enzyme complex has a guide molecule and a healthy DNA copy, and then DNA cutting enzyme. Okay, so guide molecule will do what? It will guide. Okay, suppose this is the gene. Okay, this is DNA, right? Yeah, this is our DNA, and this gene is faulty. We don't need that, we need to cut it out, right? So in order to do that there will be one guiding molecule. Okay, so some molecule will guide. Okay, here, so it's telling that this is the place where you have to make the cut, because this is the faulty DNA. Then what will happen? You Yeah, this is our DNA. This is our DNA. Then we have faulty segment, the faulty gene which needs to be cut, and it is accomplished by first of all there will be guide molecule. Okay, here the faulty then cutting DNA cutting enzyme. Okay, this enzyme will come and it will cut it. Okay, here it will make the cut. This DNA this cutting enzyme will make the cut here, and it will be taken off here like it has been shown here. So guide molecule, then faulty DNA has been cut, and then defective it is accomplished by DNA cutting enzyme. Then healthy DNA which was here, it is introduced here. Okay, healthy DNA strand is introduced. That's how gene editing is accomplished. Okay, I'll read it again. A cell is transferred with the enzyme complex. Enzyme complex contains a guide molecule, then a healthy DNA copy, and then DNA cutting enzyme. A specially designed synthetic guide molecule, it finds the target DNA, right? Guiding. And then an enzyme cuts off the target DNA, that is DNA cutting enzyme. Then later what happens? Later what happens is healthy DNA strand, that is the defective DNA strand is replaced with a healthy copy. Okay, healthy DNA is introduced, right? So this is the, when we say about CRISPR-Cas9, how it is working. See, guide molecule, that is guide RNA is there. Okay, so CRISPR-Cas9 basically how you will remember is Cas9 is a protein, or you can call it as enzyme. Okay, it is protein in nature. It will combine with the guide DNA. Okay, so it was earlier it was said, no, here enzyme complex. So that complex only is called Cas9. Okay, Cas9 is the enzyme, and with the guide molecule and all, it is forming a complex. Here it has formed the CRISPR complex. Okay, here it is CRISPR complex, and then this CRISPR complex finds the target DNA, because it has guide DNA also. It finds it, it targets it here. Then cutting enzyme is there, that will start cutting. Okay, and then the strands will start break, and then what happens here? Donor DNA. Okay, donor DNA is introduced. Okay, so this cutting is achieved by this CRISPR-Cas9, right? Okay, fine. So that's how healthy donor DNA is introduced. So this is called transgenic DNA, right? I hope you will understand this. You would have understood. If you have not understood, please go back a bit. You will definitely understand, right? This is, nothing is so complex. Everything is been explained with the picture. Okay, moving ahead, what are the opportunities and what are the challenges with the gene editing? Opportunities are targeted medicine, right? If this is done, we don't have to take big pills. Okay, big injection shots and all, right? If everything is done in the genetic level. Okay, then biofuels, we have seen now how biofuels were produced, biofuels were used. Then disease resistant crops, then new industrial products, and the challenges are safety. Okay, safety, and then ethical concerns are also there, and then regulatory challenges. Okay, then these are the terms we should be familiar with: gene doping, gene silencing, gene cloning. Okay, what are they? So gene doping is the hypothetical non-therapeutic use of gene therapy. It is gene doping. Doping, you would have seen, it is associated with athletes. So remember like that. So gene doping is used mainly by athletes in order to improve their performance. Okay, and not for the reasons, or not for the treatment of disease. It is used for the performance, to improve their performance. Okay, so that is called gene doping. And then gene silencing, it is the switching of the expression of a gene. Okay, so that's how gene silenced, this gene is silenced. We have seen the Terminator technology, right? So that could be one of the applications of gene silencing. Okay, so this method reduces or eliminates the protein production from its corresponding gene. Okay, gene will work only when it is translated to a protein. If it is not allowed to translate into a protein, the gene will be silenced. It won't be expressed. Gene expression will be not there. It will be thus silenced. Okay. And then gene cloning. Cloning, everyone would have known, what is cloning. Okay, similar copies like that. Okay, so gene cloning. So it is the process in which a gene of interest. Okay, we have a gene. Suppose it is responsible for high IQ. Okay, this gene is responsible for a high IQ. We need this gene. Okay, so it is located by guide molecule again, then it is copied, and then copied and cloned of all the DNA extracted from an organism. That is how gene cloning is achieved or accomplished, right? Then process of cloning has been explained through picture, right? So here we have donor, okay, and then we have surrogate. The surrogate has egg cell, but we are interested in some of the gene of donor. Okay, so we will take this surrogate. We will take the egg cell of the surrogate. Okay, and we have thrown the nucleus out of it. We only need cell, and but the somatic cell of the donor we are interested in, because it has the genes. Okay, so here the cell is taken, and here the nucleus has been taken, right, from the donor. See, the denucleated egg cell and the nucleus of somatic cells are fused. Here it is been fused. Cell from the surrogate and then nucleus from the donor. It has been fused, right, and the egg starts to divide and eventually form a clone of the donor, right, because the nucleus has DNA. Okay, so that's how it will become the clone of the donor, right? So simple. Moving ahead, stem cells. I told it is very important. Stem cells, lots of research is going on. Okay, especially in the cancer therapy and all, it is very beneficial. So stem cells are the cells that have the potential to develop into many different types of cells in the body. Okay, they may serve as a repair system of the body. The stem cells are different from the other cells in the body in three ways. Okay, they can divide and renew themselves over a long time. Okay, and they are unspecialized. Unspecialized, so they cannot do specific functions in the body. Okay, then they have the potential to become specialized cells such as muscle cells, blood cells, and brain cells. So there are three types of stem cells mainly, and some other books will have other classifications also, but mainly these three are important: adult stem cells, embryonic stem cells, and amniotic stem cells. So there are so many companies which ask for the umbilical cord, because the umbilical cord has stem cells. Okay, they cryopreserve it, okay, so that it can be used later, because these stem cells have the potential to get differentiated into the other cells. So that's how we can actually develop a organ from this. Okay, it is right now it is undifferentiated, but later it can become a differentiated cell, and we can actually form a organ also from this, right? That's why stem cell is so important. Then human genome project. Okay, so human genome project, this is also very important. A genome, I have told, it is an entire set of DNA. Okay, entire set of DNA of an organism. It contains the hereditary information, right? It contains the hereditary information. So it contains both RNA or DNA and the non-coding sequence also, right? Then genome sequencing means deciphering the exact order of base pairs. Base pairs means whether adenine is present. I mean, like see this ATG, ATC, ATT, like that it is. So adenine, thymine, or adenine, thymine, guanine, or cytosine, guanine, like that. So this thing, no, that is called base pairs. Base pairing. Okay, so that base pairing, what is the exact order? Okay, that has to be deciphered in the genome project. So this data can be analyzed to understand the functions of various genes. Okay, then identify genetic mutations and explore how the mutations impact gene functions, right? So a genome sequence spells out the order of each base. Okay, order of each base I have told, those nuclear bases, means those nitrogenous bases, right, or nucleotide of the DNA, while genome mapping simply identifies a series of landmarks in the DNA, right. And it is an effort of international research effort, human genome project. Okay, and its goal is to determine the DNA sequence of the entire human genome. It began in 1919 and it was completed in 2003. Okay, and it was coordinated by National Institute of Health USA and Department of Energy USA, right. Then goals of genome sequencing: efficient diagnosis, right. So it will enable faster and efficient diagnosis of rare genetic diseases. Okay, and especially the diagnosis of heritable diseases like cancer. These are hereditary, no. So cancers, diabetes, hypertension, etc., these can be tracked. Okay, these can be diagnosed early. Then precision medicine. This will help to understand the type and nature of the diseases, resulting in rational drug design. Okay, how the gene will function. If some individual is there, it has a gene of some cancer. Okay, so if it is diagnosed early, so such accordingly the drug can be designed. What prescription has to be given, it will be decided faster and it will be much efficient, right. Then evolutionary biology and anthropology. It is to map the genetic diversity, which would improve the understanding of evolution also. So study of migration of different human population groups. Okay, for this also, for evolution also it is useful. So in India we have Indian Human Genome Project. Okay, Indian Human Genome Project. So the CSIR scientist at the Institute of Genomics and Integrated Biology, IGIB. Okay, it is in Delhi. They have sequenced the anonymous healthy Indian citizens genome, right. Then one more thing is, earlier we saw Human Genome Project, Indian Human Genome Project. Then in India we have Genome India Project and National Genomic Grid, right. So Genome India Project involved 20 leading institutions like IISc, Bangalore, and then few other IITs. Okay, then in the first phase 10,000 person samples will be collected. Okay, and they will be connected to a grid. You know na, this is like this. So it will be connected to the grid. Okay, and this will enable the development of a reference genome. Okay, the significance is the scale and diversity that it would bring to the genetic studies, because Indian population is huge and we are very diverse people. Okay, India. So that's how it is very significant. Moving ahead, we have National Genomic Grid. Okay, so whenever you see this, remember cancer. Okay, National Genomic Grid means cancer. So it will study genomic data of cancer patients from India. Okay, it is specifically for the cancer. So it will collect samples from cancer patients through a network of pan-India collection centers by bringing all cancer treatment institution on board, right. And this grid will be formed. Okay, it will be in line with the National Cancer Tissue Biobank, NCTB, which is set up in IIT Madras, right. Here the health minister announces plans of genomic grid for India specific cancer research. Okay, so remember this. Okay, so National Genomic Grid, it is for the cancer research, right. Then DNA technology regulation bill. Okay, DNA technology use and application regulation bill 2009. You can go to the PSR website. You can see the status of this bill. Okay, it has not become a law yet, right. It is not this bill has not been passed. So the key provisions are regulation of use of DNA technology. It is for the establishing the identity of certain persons, right, including offenders, victims, suspects, and under trials. So in the forensic it is very important. Okay, that's why this bill. So DNA testing is allowed only in respect of the matters listed in the schedule of the bill. Okay, so the offences which are listed in the IPC, Indian Penal Code 1860, civil matters such as paternity suits for establishing the individual identity only, these can be used. Okay, and then consent is important. Consent is required. Okay, so the consent for collection of data will be required as per the provisions of the bill. So without consent, one cannot, I mean, any agency cannot take the DNA. Okay, then it is significant for the okay, according to the this bill, there will be a national DNA data bank will be set up, then regional DNA data banks will also be set up, and then DNA regulatory boards will be set up, to which will, these boards will accredit the laboratories that can analyze the DNA samples. Okay, then provisions of punishment are also there. Punishment to those who will leak this, okay, and those who will seek this, also ask for the DNA profiles illegally. Okay, right, so they will be punished with the jail term of up to 3 years and then 5 up to 1 lakh, right? So what are the benefits of this bill? So first of all, justice delivery, right? So it will apprehend the criminals who have attempted, I mean, who have committed heinous crimes like rape, murder, and then it will reduce the wrongful convictions also. Okay, it will acquit the innocents also. Then health, to diagnose genetic diseases such as sickle cell anemia, and it will trace disease outbreaks also, right? And then development of new vaccine, it will help in development of new vaccines also. And then in agriculture, right, for the development, agriculture, right, for the pest resistant plants. Okay, then what are the issues with the bill? First of all, violation of privacy. Okay, violation of right to privacy, this is one of our fundamental rights. Okay, that's why it has been debated. So DNA profiling bill is a violation of human rights, as it could compromise the privacy of the individuals, right? Then complicate criminal investigation. Okay, it will complicate also, because using DNA effectively during criminal investigation, it requires proper crime scene examination, trained and reliable policing, a trusted chain of custody of the samples, right? It should not be compromised, the chain of custody. Then reliable analysis and proper use of expert evidence in court. Okay, then I think you would have seen the Drishyam movie by now. How you know, Mohanlal tries to you know, how he exploit all the loopholes in the forensics. So that has been beautifully shown in the movie, right? So that's how important the chain of custody of the sample is. And then inadequate supporting infrastructure. So the committee has also flagged the concerns over the lack of infrastructure for conducting DNA test in the country. Okay, so we should have supporting infrastructure also. And then misuse it, if these data is out in the public, this can be used for the profiling also. Okay, genetic profiling also. So it can used in caste based profiling as well. So the standing committee has pointed out that DNA profiles can reveal extremely sensitive information, okay, of an individual, and hence it could be used for caste or community based profiling. Okay, then what are the challenges are faced by this biotechnology in India as a whole? Okay, so first of all, compulsory license. We know that in the government of India, it is the power to suspend a patent in times of health emergencies, right? So many pharma companies, they come up with drugs, and with small modifications they keep renewing their patents. So government has given this provision of compulsory license, because of which those pharma companies have to give their formula. Okay, they will be compensating something, they will be given compensation, but they will have to give their formula, so that other manufacturers in countries can manufacture it. Okay, so that it can be available to the general public. Okay, the public which cannot afford such expensive medicines. Okay, for that it is there, compulsory licensing is there in India, especially in the times of health emergencies, right? So it is actually good for, I mean, it is a necessary evil also for India. Then there is lack of investment in R&D, like in every sector R&D, in our R&D is facing this lack of investment. Then number and quality of jobs are offered are very less, right? The biotechnology is not seen as a lucrative option. And then lack of public awareness also of the modern tools of biotechnology, right? So with this, the biotechnology has been completed. It has become very lengthy. still there were some parts which I had to leave because it was getting very lengthy. So please revise all this before your prelims. If you get lucky, maybe some question from this part can come. So revise it, okay? So thank you. Like these videos, subscribe Vaishayas, okay? So bye.